Free Speech, Challenge of Our Times. From the ASU School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership, the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, and the Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law, exploring matters of free speech and civil dialogue in society today.
The School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership is convening experts from around the country on free speech and intellectual diversity to explore the wave of heated debates and clashes on American campuses about freedom of speech, civility, diversity, and inclusion. Cornel West and Robert George have spoken together on many public occasions across the past 2 decades, and they have taught courses together at Princeton University, precisely because of their differing views on important philosophical, moral, and political issues. One, a self-identified radical Democrat and socialist, one, the leading proponent in academia of conservative ideas about natural law, moral virtues, and America's constitutional tradition. We have 2 distinguished academics with quite different views on moral and political questions. Please join me in welcoming Robert George and Cornel West.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm going to go first because, as you will soon find out, absolutely no one can follow Cornel West. And let me tell you why, and this is not just happy talk. Cornel exemplifies what it means to be a person of principle. Cornel exemplifies integrity. And I don't care whether you're a liberal or conservative, a libertarian, a socialist, integrity is in short supply. In human affairs, integrity is always in short supply. But I have a sense that it may be even in shorter supply today. And so we need role models, and we need examples, and we need inspirations. And Cornel has been a role model, and an example, and an inspiration for me. I've loved our opportunities for teaching together. I've learned so much from him. He hasn't learned enough from me, but I've learned so much. I've learned so much from him in our explorations of contemporary issues and timeless perennial issues for the common project of learning, for truth seeking. And of course, that's fundamentally what brings us together, a dedication to truth seeking. It's important for us as citizens to love truth more than we love our own opinions, to want the truth, even if it means being forced to change our minds or yield some ground to people on the other side who actually have something to say. You can't get at the truth. You just can't if you are unwilling to expose your beliefs, your ideas, your arguments to criticism. Let me turn it over to my brother, Cornel West. Cornel?
Thank you so much. We've been at it 11 years, 11 magnificent years, and I have a love for my brother. I think it's very important that people exemplify it in such a bleak moment in our culture and civilization, that love and friendship is not reducible to politics and policy. That you can revel in the humanity of people even when you think they're wrong. And he's not always wrong, but we got overlap. We got good overlap, you know. But we try to be truth seekers together. When I think of the issue of free expression, I begin with piety. And by piety, what I mean is the acknowledged dependence that all of us have on those who came before, who shape our hearts, minds, and souls. I happen to come from a great tradition of a grand people who've been terrorized for 400 years, taught the world so much about liberty, from Frederick Douglass to Ella Baker, who've been hated for 400 years in various ways, and yet have taught the world so much about how to love. I could just turn on John Coltrane's Love Supreme and just let us listen to it and take it in at the deepest level to enact what it means to take seriously the anthem of black people, which is lift every voice. It doesn't say lift every echo. Echo is just an extension of a copy, but a voice is original. You can't be a blues woman or a jazz man without finding your voice, and your voice is like your fingerprint. It's all yours. There's nobody in the world like you, and there'll never be another you. Now, why is that important? Well, that's at the very center of the democratic sensibility, which is the extraordinariness of ordinary people, of the dignity of those Sly Stone called everyday people. But what does it mean to lift every voice? It means to engage in a quest in which you fall in love with the truth. And there's something beautiful about an intense intellectual conversation in which you revel in the humanity of the other and allow them to enter that public space without humiliation and give them the benefit of being right as well as wrong. Because it's not about just information, it's about transformation. I tell my students, the last 40 years of my teaching, when they come in my classroom, you are here to learn how to die. And they, Professor West, I thought I was just trying to read these texts and get a grade. No. No, you missed the point.